The person who's getting surprised is me. Oh my God. There was a chance we might be able to pop an offer here. He's like, no, it's actually $90.95. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So everything is looking good. There's no better time to be a recruiter. Happy Monday and welcome back to yet again another week in the life of what I do every single day as a recruiter at my own recruiting agency in the technology industry. If you saw the previous video, you know that coming to this week, I am focused on 2 positions that are going into reference calls. If they go well, there's a good chance we might be able to progress to an offer, which I'm really pumped about. There's also a chance that we will be picking up possibly 2, maybe 3 brand new clients, have a client call later today. And so it's gonna get very interesting on how I'm gonna have to figure out how to manage everything really well. And other than that, just really excited to see what else this week will have in store for us. It is now the second to last week of October. I hope everyone is on track with their goals and your month is going really well. If you are as excited as I am to finish this month really well with momentum and continue to crush Q4, please consider liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. Really means a lot. Definitely gives me the energy and focus needed to make this week awesome. So let's see what happens, what's in store for us, and what cool scenarios and obstacles we'll have to overcome. All right, it is now 6 p.m. here at Monday. Just had a jam-packed day. Really focused on hitting the design lead and creative director for a DTC company in New York, as well as hitting engineers. So just been focused all day, reaching out on LinkedIn, other websites, reaching back out to my previous candidates we spoke to in our database, just trying to grind, get some good responses so that we can immediately send them and submit them to our clients. But got a couple really cool updates. Number 1, 3 interviews happened today. Heard back from 2 of them. It was positive, so that sounds really good. Hopefully we should be progressing there. I also heard that one of our candidates that we submitted last week, who had 2 interviews with our Fintech client for a product analyst role, he was reached out to only a couple hours ago for his references. So that is amazing. And if that goes well, I think there is a chance we might be able to pop an offer here. As I shared with you before, this company is looking to hire maybe 3 to 4 product analysts. So if we can keep the pipeline strong, maybe we can pop couple offers here, which would be amazing. And last but not least, I also just had an incredible Zoom call with a potential brand new company. They're in the finance space. They are a Series D company. They have about 200 people based out of California, really one-stop shop for all of their finance needs for businesses of all sizes. And they reached out to me in hopes that we can help them engage with a designer position. And if that goes well, perhaps they would unlock other positions that we can help with. Had a chat with their head of recruiting, who was super nice and very sweet. It was a very short and productive call, after which we concluded that she was going to refer me to a colleague of hers that is responsible for this design position. So I'm going to actually jump on the phone with her probably later this week to really dive deep. I wasn't able to talk too much about the position with her, with this person today. It was more about the broad strokes, high level, what the company does, what they need help with, and any questions they had for me. My intention for this is to really dive deep, ask pointed, specific questions, really understand exactly what they're looking for, and then we can get started. I feel better that this is a product design position because we're actually working quite a lot of different product design positions right now. And actually one of our other fintech clients are also looking for product designers. So I'm thinking everyone that we reached out to for them, we can potentially repitch for this one. So it's all about working smart and not just working hard as well. Got 4 interviews tomorrow, got 3 interviews on Wednesday, and got 3 more Thursday, Friday. So it's a light week so far, but I expect this to continue and for the week to get significantly more busy as responses start coming in. But all in all, good Monday, good start to the week. And I'm still waiting to hear back what happens with these references. So fingers crossed. One more quick update. So we just got back our signed agreement letter with the video game company that we spoke with last week, and he sent it back, signed, we're good to go. These guys are building in a very innovative, like social network, next level tournament platform for some of the biggest major brands out there, which is super cool. Their founders are second-time founders. They're backed by some of the best VCs in the country, and the kicker is that they are okay making this fully remote. As a matter of fact, the whole company is fully remote. The founder just moved to Canada apparently. So these guys are hiring an influencer marketing manager, whether it's an influencer marketing manager or influencer marketing specialist. You just have to have at least 1 to 2 years, ideally 1 to 3 years of professional experience doing influencer marketing professionally. So whether it's coming out of agency or in-house brand, we will now be actively sourcing for this starting tomorrow. So hoping, ideally, we can get them a couple really good candidates before the week's end or the weekend. But this is pretty exciting. This is legitimately our first gaming client. If we can nail this down, I think they're hiring like an extra 20, 30 more positions that we might have the chance of engaging as well. So it's really important that we can kind of get this one out of the way as fast as possible. So gonna be focused on this, but if you're watching this, if you know anyone who might be great influencer marketing manager or even a good marketing or digital marketing manager who did a lot of influencer marketing, feel free to reach out. It doesn't have to be mega large influencers. It could be also small, mid-size, across all platforms. And they are pretty flexible with the salary for the right person. They do offer benefits, bonus, and equity. So we'll be focused, but if you know anyone who might be interested, don't forget to have them reach out to us. We do have an amazing referral program. We pay up to $10,000 for the right introduction. So don't forget that. But yeah, just gonna add this and find a way to stay sane for the rest of the week. So fingers crossed. Happy Tuesday afternoon and kicking off this day with amazing, amazing news. As you know, we were coming into this week with one of our candidates for the director, actually 2 of our candidates for the director of facilities roles going into reference stages. I was able to follow up with the COO, our hiring manager, yesterday to just see how everything's going. And he let me know that he engaged with the candidate after the references, had a chat with them, extended the offer, and the candidate was so elated and so excited, he accepted literally on the spot. So this was a director of facilities, director of operations role. Again, not really in our specialty, but decided to help them out because this is one of our favorite clients, but I also have a really strong understanding of the role. So I know exactly what they're looking for. So was able to kind of go in there, do some personalized, laser focused outreach, sent them about 6 people. Out of 6, 2 made it to the reference round. Out of the 2, they made an offer to 1. It literally accepted on the spot, no negotiations, extremely smooth closing, shut down all of the interview processes and excited to start his brand new job. So just heard this earlier today, super excited. Again, we're still waiting on the references for the digital marketing manager and potentially a product analyst as well. I'm gonna be picking up new roles in about an hour with a really cool brand new client. And I think syncing up with one of our hiring managers from our clients to talk about how the process is going. But other than that, 3 interviews today. One of them just happened, went really well. Have about 8 candidate calls. So far, really good Tuesday. Just happy to share with you that no better feeling than to close a deal. Let's go. Oh shoot, that's amazing. What I'm thinking right now that I would love to do is actually sync the latest temperature on both of them to see if there's anything that we need to worry about. He'd be looking for, more like the 120-ish. And I know that's kind of on the top end of you guys.
Yeah.
But they're both.
I think that they're going to come in at like 95, 90. So maybe 120 is too high for. I think that somebody with 4 years experience, we could get to like 115-ish, especially if they had a comparable base.
We were operating that, 115, 120 was okay for you guys. I know that he's super bullish about you guys. He's super excited. He knows that he's, there's equity involved. He really wants to get out of banking. He wants to break into tech and product. So all of that's aligned. I think if you guys can maybe I don't know, if there's any way you guys can stretch to like 100 or something for him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The initial one's going to come in at 90, 95. I tried to get it to be 100, 95, and 95, 90. I think it's too low.
Okay, so I just got off the phone with my hiring manager at one of our favorite fintech companies. First of all, amazing news. So they want to make an offer to 2 people, which is amazing. For 2 product analysts, both coming out of the investment banking route. I don't know what happened, but when I went over the salary range for both these candidates, he's like, they're high. I'm like, what do you mean? They're well within the range that you told me initially. which I believe was between 110 to 120. And he's like, no, it's actually 90.95. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It can't be 90.95. And I double checked my notes and it does not say 90.95. So I don't know what is going on, but on one hand, it's great that we're moving to an offer. On the other hand, if an offer does come out and the candidates see 90.95, that's just gonna make everyone, including me, look really bad. And they're gonna feel like I intentionally deceived them from day one, which was not the case at all. Now what I need to do is regroup, first of all, with both the candidates, just to see if they're still excited, they're still engaged, what's going on with the other interview process, are there any other red flags there that I need to worry about, and then dive right in again about their salary expectations, play different scenarios, hypotheticals, ranges, like what works, what will be a deal breaker. I know with one candidate, our hard minimum will be 100, so we're only talking about 5K delta here. So I think that's doable. I think she'll be able to come down, they may be able to go up. But the second candidate, he's looking for at least like 110 or higher. Now we're talking about almost 20K difference here. So the good news with him is that he really, really wants to get out of banking and he really wants to break into tech, specifically product. You know, if you're a banker in this day and age, you'll get a lot of opportunities coming inbound to you from the tech world, but usually they're in the finance, ops, or strategy, not so much product. So this is really an opportunity for the right person to get out of banking, break into tech, break into product management within tech, which he understands like how unique that is, and that's something he really wants to do. So I'm gonna do my best to see how flexible the first candidate is, and then really, really hammer in on like, hey man, like for the second candidate, like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity where you can get out of finance, go into tech. Yes, the salary might be a little bit lower, but you also have bonus, you also have equity, and you also have significant more opportunities to grow, and then your whole package will catch up. So typically like really hammering what the candidates want and emphasizing that this opportunity matches and offers them exactly what they want is a good play, but really also emphasizing the long-term vision so that they don't get too distracted with that salary discrepancy. There's only so much you can do here, and I'm also equally gonna push back to the company to get them up as high as possible. But I'm not so worried about the first candidate, but this second one, I really, really want to find a way to get this done. Right now we're playing with a 20K gap. We need to get both the sides closer to get this done. So fingers crossed. All right, just got off the phone with a brand new client. They are in the aviation space, and it's basically private jet on demand. They're founded by second-time founders who had their first company get acquired. They have about 200 people, hiring ton of people. And I'm working with the marketing creative team to help them on two specific roles. The first is a creative director. Ideally, if they have great management experience and great kind of track record of leadership experience, specifically in the tech world, that would be fantastic. This can pay up to $250. And the second is a partnership director role. We'll reach out to not only traditional people working as partnerships director or business development, but people who are in partnership positions within the marketing domain or sales roles within the marketing domain. Gonna be hitting those two different markets to see who we can find. This position can pay up to $150. We agreed on 20%, so potential commissions can be great here. Focus really the whole day so far on hitting influencer marketing manager. Once I'm done, and then I'm gonna shift gears and try to do both these positions as fast as I can so that I can kind of regroup and hit engineering again and product managers and product designers. But yeah, just gonna be sourcing the rest of the day, maybe shoot 1 or 2 YouTube videos. So it's only 1:50 p.m. Still got way more work to do, so we'll be sitting here for the next 3 or 4 hours and just hammering through. So we'll see in a bit.
Very exciting news, obviously, and also, I mean, a big thanks for your help in sort of the process up to this point.
Yeah, no worries, man. I mean, that's huge that you got an offer. I'm really, really proud of you. You know, from the beginning, the whole team loved you, and you just really impressed everyone every step of the way. So
she then asked me to follow up or if I could touch base today, and so she essentially just called me to officially give me the offer and sort of briefly outlines the terms of an initial offer letter, I guess, sort of with the terms in terms of like the salary and benefits and things like that. And she said, she can give me until sort of the end of the week, early next week, to make a decision. And there's two options, one being 95 annually with an option of to purchase a certain amount of shares, and then the second option is 90 annually with the option to purchase a little bit more shares. And so the two things I kind of asked were, is there any sort of bonus or like variable compensation, which it doesn't seem like there is, and then two, like how many outstanding shares, like, as a way to sort of value what that equity component would be.
How do you feel about the other terms, like the salary?
It's a little tough at that number for me, just because, that when you think about that annually, which is, lower than, what I'm currently making plus.
It's number one, I don't want you to ever feel like, we try to inflate the picture or mislead you in any way. Like since the beginning, like we operated with the understanding that like they'd be able to come higher. I'm actually also personally surprised about the salaries that came out. So I just want to really make that crystal clear with you. Always something that we can do. And I think that we can definitely push back and have them come a little bit higher for sure. But just to kind of get you past that 100 mark, like, is that okay? Would that be better?
That would be better. I mean, it's really the thing. And I understand, I also don't want to make it seem like, I'm just pushing back to push back or anything, or I'm not grateful.
I don't know if they can hit 110, just to be completely transparent. I mean, I think they might be able to do 100. I would obviously want to push as much as possible, but like at what point would you start feeling like, less disappointed and more excited? Okay. So I spoke with this candidate who I was really worried about. He was ideally looking for 110. He got an offer for 95. And the whole purpose of that call was really me just getting into his brain and thought process, feeling him out. Like, is it a deal breaker? Is he actually excited? Good news, he's still really excited. The only thing I need to work on is he excited enough to accept? And 95, 110, that's still a gap there. I was really just trying to play a lot of hypothetical situations. Like, how would he feel with 95 with higher equity, or maybe 100 with the same equity, or 100 with more equity, 100 with less equity? Like, I know that the company can go a little bit more, a little bit higher in the salary. Maybe 100's doable. I just don't see 110 happening at all. I will try to get him 105, just shoot for the moon. But if I can get him 100, maybe same equity, 100, a little bit more equity, maybe we can get this done. So they offered him two. They offered him 90,000 with a lot of equity, or a certain amount of equity, and 95 with a little bit less equity. So it's kind of a balance scale. Knowing the company, if we were to ask for a higher salary, they're just gonna give him less equity. If the company's not gonna budge more on salary, if maybe we can budge a little bit to 100 and then maybe get that equity a little bit higher, the equivalent to what he got for 95, instead of being diluted, if they gave him 100, then I think that would be ideal. 100 with the same equity as 90, that would be ideal. 100, same equity as 95, that's our plan B. But man, almost there, we're just almost there. And so this is where it's really helpful to have recruiters, because you don't have to stress. We're gonna now go to war and battle for you and try to make something happen. So I now have to call hiring manager, see what we can do with the numbers. My candidate also wants to speak with other members of the team just to get more perspectives, just to get clarifications on what exactly his future could look like. And they're giving him till end of week, and it's only Tuesday, so we still have a lot of time to play with, but I'm going to work on this right now. Let's see what happens. So he just got off the phone with someone from HR. They extended an offer. He's super pumped. The same terms that we talked about, 90-95 came out, so no surprises there. But he genuinely sounded really exciting. So I think we're at a good place to start. But as we suspected, there's definitely a couple of things that he wants to see if we can make happen. We don't have any information about equity, so he has no color there at all about like what it could value to. So if there's anything that you can do there, that would be super helpful for him. Last but not least, it's the salary. Like, he's not expecting in any way for you guys to hit 110. And I know that's probably impossible on your end. Anywhere closer between 95 to 110, like 100, 105, like that would be amazing. I think if you can do 100 and then offer maybe the equivalent equity at the 90K salary, or even the 95 salary as a plan B, I think that would be enough to kind of shut this down. All right, just got off the phone with the hiring manager. He was super busy, so couldn't really get much done. I conveyed the info. I'm gonna send him an email to schedule the phone call and see what they'll come back with. But I think they're gonna come back with something. I just don't know what, so fingers crossed. Just heard from the hiring manager, the head of marketing at this client of ours that was going over references for my second candidate. He extended an offer to my candidate last Friday, and I had no idea. My candidate didn't let me know, and they didn't let me know. And again, while this is like super positive news and a part of me is very excited, I'm also just very caught off guard and very confused that we didn't know that this happened. Because as you know, I love to be just hands-on, because that's how we provide our biggest value to all parties involved. We're very, very hands-on with the process. We're hands-on with the managers, keeping them updated with the candidates. We're hands-on with the candidates, keeping them updated with the interview and hiring process of our clients. And so that when we do get to the offer, there's no surprises. But the funny thing is, and the irony is, the person who's getting surprised is me. So I have no idea what's happened. We're dealing with multiple offers right now, which is exciting and super stressful. I need to reach out back to my candidate and just figure out like why I haven't heard from him. It's already Tuesday. I haven't heard from him all day yesterday, all day today. I hope that there is a reason for it. Typically, it's not the best, most positive reason if I don't hear back from a candidate after an offer. But now, yeah, just scrambling to get in touch. But super surprised. I guess the references went well, and we need to go get to the bottom of this and see exactly what happened. Okay, so just wanted to come on here and just share one thought. Over the past couple weeks, people have reached out to me and asked me, how do you effectively screen candidates? While there are so many tools and softwares that you can use, my biggest advice I can think of right now is honestly know your market really, really well. When you start recruiting, while it's possible to be a very profitable and successful recruiter across multiple industries and working on literally every role imaginable, I find that the best recruiters, the most successful recruiters out there are ones that stick with their industry or stick within certain types of roles. 1, 2, or just a handful at most, and become a master at them. The more you know about these roles, the more you know about the tools, the technologies, the sectors that the professionals use every single day, the better you can confidently not only communicate with the candidates you speak to, but also have specific questions to ask. So if you are right now recruiting a ton of different positions and only know shallow levels about all of them, and that's what you're gonna continue doing, my advice honestly is to slow down and study more on the roles that you do. If you're starting about recruiting, if you're starting about starting your own agency and you focus only on engineering or marketing or product, great. Learn as much as you can. Research, read, talk to folks, and just absorb as much information as a sponge, because then you'll start to understand exactly, almost as if you become the professional yourself, what they do every day, what tools are popular, what languages are popular, what softwares are go-to, and then you can use that knowledge to effectively communicate, screen, and qualify candidates. At that point, once you're done with that, then you can start researching other tools, other screening tests or surveys or exercises and whatever markets that you're in to add and supplement to your already basic level of qualifying. So I hope that helps. When I started my agency, or even recruiting for that matter, I started in 2 markets and 2 markets only: product and UX. I got to know that market really, really well. And I would at least recommend you stay in that market for a year to maybe 2 years max before you start adding or wanting to add another position to it. If you add positions too quickly, you're gonna have to scramble and then only know a surface level or shallow amount of information about each position or the industry, and then you're not gonna be as confident or come off as credible when talking to founders, hiring managers, and candidates. So be a master in 1 or maybe a couple at the most, and learn it really, really well. And then you'll find that communicating, having discussions, qualifying, screening will come a lot more naturally. What a day, stretching my legs out. Time to go out and have a great night. Yeah, I mean, I guess I owe you a congratulations, man. That's amazing news.
Thank you very much for the introduction and for all your help through it. Yeah, definitely really excited. I saw her email yesterday. I'm going to respond and go with the option for the formal offer letter. I just wanted to see if there was a chance to speak with, I know they hired like a new manager who hasn't started yet, just since I've been working with them closely maybe about me. I want to make sure that we vibed.
See if we can
respond back to her today.
Okay, perfect. We'll also try to ping them on our end as well. And so everything in the offer letter, it looks good to you. Like, do you think you're gonna return it back signed to them?
Yeah. So I guess the offer was like, it was 2 different salary options. You had to choose one, and they'll give you the final one.
Okay.
So I'm making that choice, and I guess I'll get the final offer. It was 90 plus bonus plus stock, where there was another one that was less base with more stock. I just figured I'd take. I need the cash to like take care of bills and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just, that's great news. I'm really, really happy they're able to come out with a 90.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Just got off the phone with my marketing candidate who I just found out yesterday that he got an offer on Friday and haven't heard from him since. Apparently he was sick and traveling a lot and just swamped with work. So he apologized for the delay, but everything is great news. The terms came out and he was super happy with it. He really, really, really wanted 90. I know the company was really capping it at 80, 85, but back and forth with the hiring managers, we made that happen to put a 9 in front of it. So he's really happy about that. The only thing that between him and actually signing is he just wanted to get in touch and get to know his manager that he'll be working closely with. And she's brand new, they just hired her. So to him, it's just a formality. So I'm more than happy to kind of get that set up, and hopefully if everything goes well, he will sign and this will be done.
Studying, they wanted to take me to the next round, which I believe is references. So I'm just reaching out to a few folks, making sure that they're okay being my references, and then sending over the information to the HR manager. And I really like the team, and everyone I spoke to seems to be a really great working fit for me. So very, very excited.
You know, for the right person, as we talked about the first time, it's really a cool opportunity for you to get out of banking and break into tech and the PM track, which is really exciting. And I know that that's kind of aligned with what you're looking for, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Perfect, perfect. And are you like later in stages with other companies too?
No, this furthest one I'm along in. I have been speaking to other companies, but this is the furthest.
You said that you'd ideally be kind of looking for like 100 or higher, right?
Yeah.
And but you said for the, I guess, the right opportunity, depending on like the equity back, and you might be a little bit flexible. So like if the
Exactly.
Right. So but we'll obviously do our best if they want to move forward to get you as close as possible. Wow, just talked to another candidate, a product analyst candidate for this finance tech company that we're working with. She has just been asked to send her references, so everything is looking good. She's looking for 100. They're offering 90, 95. So I think there's definitely an overlap here, and she's willing to be flexible. So I think salary-wise, not too worried. I'm still worried about the person the other candidate I spoke with yesterday, who's looking for at least 110. There's gonna have to be a lot of negotiations and a lot of leverage and communication and sales needed to just get this done. But there's a lot for me to work with on my end. I know that he's genuinely excited, so we can definitely use that. And he wants to get out of banking like desperately. So we just need to make sure that we can paint that picture for him. And of course, you know, when you come out of banking into tech, you have to be a little bit flexible with cash, because consulting and finance are really known to be paying folks really, really well, especially with bonuses. And he's also like about to get promoted internally as well. So have a lot to juggle with, but I know all the main points that we need to constantly hit to keep him engaged, and fingers crossed. But yeah, marketing candidate, almost there. These two others, almost there. Potentially 3 offers this week, which would be insane. So come on, let's go. Okay, quick update. So our product analyst candidate who's looking for at least 110 or higher, and the company can only offer 90-95. I just heard back from the candidate that he's chatting with their head of product, the big guy, the big guns, at 2 p.m. today, with the purpose of discussing more about equity, hopefully clarifying that with the candidate. I still am not sure what they can do with the salary and the equity offerings behind the scenes, but hopefully if they can kind of play with both, maybe one or the other, we can get it done. My candidate is still engaged, he's still positive. It's now just in a nail-biting, just sitting at the edge of my seat type of situation, and just have to be patient and see what happens. Amazing update. Just got an email from the candidate for the marketing position saying that he accepts the offer. Super, super pumped. He really wanted 90. Company came back with 80, 85, and I'm like, hey, that's not gonna happen. You have to have a 9 in front of it. They talked internally. They told me we're gonna make it happen. They extended an offer to him on Friday with 90. He's happy, and we just made it done. I mean, it honestly goes to show it's not that hard, guys. Like, it's not rocket science, companies. If candidates want 90, give him 90 and don't make a big fuss of offering him 85. You're gonna potentially lose a candidate over $5,000. Like, that's just not the right play, especially in this insane market. So I'm happy to our client that's stretched to offer our candidate 90. Really, really happy for our candidate that is super pumped about joining forces here on this team to do some awesome work. And he's been such an absolute pleasure to work with from the get-go, and really excited to see all the amazing things that he's gonna do. But happy to say that this position is now closed. The 2 other candidates for the product analyst positions are still pending. Still no word from our client, the hiring managers for both the positions, on what they're gonna do in terms of salary, whether they're gonna be able to come up on salary, equity, or both. So I'm just still waiting. But oh man, Wednesday, almost 3 p.m., coming in midweek with another freaking offer. Let's go. All right, it's nearly a little past 5 p.m. and just been really focused on making as much progress sourcing product managers as much as possible, as we have multiple positions and the pipelines need help. So really spent most of the afternoon reaching back out into my database, using different tools, checking out different sites, LinkedIn, etc. Really crafting great personalized outreach in hopes that we can kind of get great responses from candidates so that we can eventually submit them. So fingers crossed on how that goes. We had our first interview for influencer marketing manager today. Unfortunately, that didn't go too well. The hiring manager told me that the candidate was a little bit junior and really wasn't the best culture fit either. So not the best beginning, but we sent them 3 others shortly after, and I think they're much, much better, and hopes that he wants to speak with them. And aside from that, we also just heard back from our favorite clean energy company, and surprise, surprise, they might actually want to move forward with 1 more engineer, which is gonna be amazing. And so after the first wave disaster where we had to reject so many people because they weren't able to reload back to New York, we were able to really use that as a filtering when we first screened them, and only send folks over to our client that are open to reload. So the person that we found, he was open to reload from the beginning, which is great. They had a great first round yesterday, second round today. Both times candidate got positive feedback, and just heard back from the founder that he and his team might want to move forward, which is amazing news. Now I briefly touched back with the candidate, and he's super positive as well, which is great. But he told me that he has to do a lot of research in New York City, that if he were to move, his expectations for salary might change. Naturally, no surprise there. So I told him to crunch the numbers and research as fast as possible, because once that's done, we can get that information over to our client and then set up another call. And if everything is aligned there, then they can extend an official offer, and bada bing, bada boom, hopefully we can have a smooth close. But with reload, there's a ton of questions the candidate has, a lot more than positions that don't require reload, like, what exactly are the benefits? What does reload assistance mean? Will that really be like fully covered by the company? Can we get that on Inc, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of different loops and stages that we still have to go through, but we're really happy that we might be able to pop 1 more engineer here. We're also actively recruiting for HR associates and finance associates as well. We sent them 3 finance associates earlier this week. They're gonna start reaching them out early next week. So hopefully 1 of those popped as well. But all in all, we are already in the bag with this clean energy tech company with 1 offer. Let's see if we can do 1 more. And of course, it's engineers, so it could be a big one. So fingers crossed. Aside from that, just got a couple more outstanding emails to do, and I'm gonna call it a day because we're going to leave early and do something fun, something that we've been looking forward to for quite some time. So gonna wrap up for another 30-40 minutes and then head out soon. Heading out to watch the local soccer team, DC United, kick New England's butt. Good morning. Ooh, had a fun late night last night. Got up early, you know the drill. Started off with a killer workout. If you're working in sales, you're working in recruiting, you own your own boutique agency, you own your own business, something that really helped me, and I hope that can give you some value, is just take control. And what I mean by that is, in recruiting, when you're working as an independent recruiter or at an agency, our livelihood is not based on salaries, it's based on commissions. Very similar to real estate agents. Your future is uncertain, you never know when that next deal is gonna come. So what I mean by take control is twofold. Number one,
When you're working with candidates and you think you found the best candidate, but then they prove to be very difficult, they stop responding, they start ghosting, they start ignoring you, they have a lot of reasons. Don't just bank your whole future, your income, and your livelihood on that candidate. Do whatever you can to re-engage, keep that candidate engaged, and move forward, but keep moving forward and reaching out to other candidates, and don't put all your eggs in one basket. Furthermore, when you're doing outreach or working with clients or companies or startups, sometimes you'll find an amazing company, tier one, amazing investors, but they're proving to be very, very difficult. The hiring manager belittles you, he doesn't listen to you, not open-minded, he lowballs candidates, or the culture is bad, or something's wrong. While you're working so hard for that one client and then you keep coming back to the same disappointing results, again, take control. Don't put all your eggs in one basket and keep reaching out to new clients and new businesses. Just as candidates and hiring managers and founders have a choice of which recruiters to work with, we also have a choice of which candidates and which clients to work with. Take control of yourself, have respect for yourself, don't get pushed around, and there's always going to be amazing candidates, better companies and founders to work with. So don't have all your eggs in one basket. Don't rely on just one thing. Keep moving forward. If you can diversify with many other companies, with many other candidates, then whatever happens with that one candidate, with one hiring manager, is not really gonna feel like your world's falling apart or rocking the boat. So I hope this helps. Stay diversified, keep your outreach going for both clients and candidates. And even though sometimes it's really frustrating, just take your breath, meditate, relax, everything will be good, and just keep on going. Let's make it a good day.
Happy Thursday. Just been sitting here all day. It's almost 3 p.m. Didn't even have a chance to eat lunch. Have a jam-packed day, almost 12 plus candidate calls. We have 5 interviews. I spoke to an ad tech company that we worked with before who wants to re-engage us, opening up a good number of positions. They also tried to renegotiate our fee percentage, but at the same time, we have to stand firm, not only because we know the value that we can bring to companies, but most importantly, like the market is insane. Like it's coming to a point where we want to work with all the companies that can reach out to us, but we have to now be selective. And even though we've been working with some companies for quite some time, we're not as flexible to give discounts as we were before, only because there are now companies willing to just pay us significantly more. So it's just an insane market, and starting to see so many companies starting to get desperate in terms of hiring talent and really just throwing as much money as possible. And now thinking even more about, okay, well, we managed to hire this many people, how do we hold on to them? I was just speaking to a recruiter earlier today, a good friend of mine, and he said that a friend at a really well-known big tech company, over almost 30 people resigned in the same week for a variety of purposes. That's just so crazy. So there's more talent in the market than ever. There's more competition than ever. There's not enough recruiters. So again, if you're watching this and you're interested about being a recruiter, there is no better time to be a recruiter. And if you are a recruiter right now, there's no better time to continue, make that extra effort, talk to candidates, talk to companies, because everyone needs help right now. I also just got the phone with another hiring manager at a B2B company, one of our clients based actually in the West Coast, and we're just touching base, kind of a progress report, seeing how everything's going. They're in the B2B kind of SaaS space, and at least with these guys, they only have about 50 people, but at least they can pay market competitive, and they're fully remote, which is like really, really helpful. I still don't understand more established companies that are offering below market. That could still work. That worked a little bit easier before COVID, but now post-COVID, it's a little bit more difficult. You have to really pay a premium now for good talent, because talent has just great options, and they have tons of options, more than ever. So, companies, if you're struggling to hire, you have to just stretch and do whatever you can. And if you're smaller, with a more perceived risk, you have to really do whatever you can, pull out all the stops to attract talent, because at the end of the day, you're still competing against the FAANG companies, the big guys, Facebook, Amazon, Google, Netflix, Microsoft, etc., who are just gobbling up talent. So if you're a smaller company, you have to do whatever you can. Just offering equity alone is not going to be enough. You have to close the gap with salary. You have to play with scope, job titles, culture, leadership, everything. Really just sell that, because that's the only way for you to be able to stand out of the crowd of all the other companies and startups around your same caliber and age hiring. So It was a really good kind of product update. Good to chat with him. He had to interview one of our product managers today. Went really well. Apparently, he said, according to him, it was one of the best ones we've sent him so far, which is amazing. We also sent him yesterday that he's going to push through. And then in about an hour, we have a call with another brand new client. But oh man, I'm tired. I'm feeling it, didn't even get a chance to kind of walk around. All I've been having this whole day is water, but sometimes you just got to put in the work. And this is something that I just want to share with you. It's great to take you along for the ride and show you these big commissions, but at the same time, any industry, whatever win that you're getting, you have to understand what are they doing to get those wins? What sacrifices are you willing to do? What sacrifices are you willing to go through to find the success level that you want? Success just doesn't happen like that. It requires hard work and sacrifice. So for me, it means long hours, sometimes no lunches, sometimes no dinners, sometimes working late in the evening, sometimes 7 days a week, waking up and not knowing how you're gonna do that week and that month. And you just have to show up and just keep being consistent and then hoping and have faith in yourself that things will happen. So right when a small part of me feels like I can't take on any more business, I had two client calls earlier. I'm gonna be getting an influx of positions from an ad tech company, possibly gonna get another influx of positions from a new client we're talking to in an hour from now, but gotta stay positive and pump up yourself whenever you can. Take short 5-minute breaks and end the week strong. But tomorrow got like 15 calls, got 3 interviews. It's gonna be another one of those days where my voice is gonna be super raw. Still, we have no update for 2 of our product analysts from yesterday. Our marketing candidate verbally accepted yesterday. He got the official offer today, so he just needs to sign. And once he signs and sends it back, it is completely done and official. So at least we're ending this week off with 1 deal, hoping to at least do 2 or 3 this week. Like, that would be incredible.
They felt like the offer was fair. I was trying to advocate for, let's at least hear him out and hear what he's asking for.
She's just gonna stand firm then?
I don't know. Currently, my suggestion and guidance isn't taken to heed.
You can't do anything. Yeah, it's all about the delivery then. It's like, hey, we hear you, we understand, but with us, you have this bright future, you have equity, right? They just have to do that. If they can just tweak a little bit, either salary, either equity, maybe both, of course, that would help a lot. Oh my God. So that was the hiring manager of the fintech company that is overseeing these 2 pending offers for product analysts. And remember, one candidate is looking for 110 and they offered him 95. And that's just, I still think a small part of me feels that if nothing can be done, he can still accept. But I was hoping to at least get them up to 100. That's only $5K, which is not that much for the company. Looking back at my relationship with this company, historically, they always made an effort to just come up a little bit. And then what I've heard from this guy is my candidate's immediate hiring manager thinks, in addition with the head of product on the team, thinks the offer is fair and they might not want to change anything, which is shocking because they're not only a small company, they're a pretty established company. They have a couple hundred people. Their valuation is massive. For them to think like this in this market is pretty shocking. So if that's the case, they might have their own reasons and I totally have to respect that. But what I'm really shocked about is how can I then change the narrative with my candidate and just make sure he still stays engaged but in positive fashion? Because when I first reached out to him, we thought 115 to 120 was possible. And then during the process, I heard that, no, it's not 90-95, an offer of 95, an offer then for 95 came out. The candidate's happy, but he's like, but with all due respect, I was a little bit disappointed because I thought the offer was gonna be closer to 115, 120, which you told me. When that happened, I'm like, hey, let me go back to the company, see if we can get them up on salary. I felt pretty hopeful because I knew how this company operated. And now today, they're telling me that they might not budge at all, which is shocking. So, oh man, this is the worst case scenario. But if this is the case, the only way the company can play this now is to come off empathetic, warm and understanding and considerate to the candidate. They have to, it's all about the narrative now. It's like, hey, we understand that there was miscommunication or we understand what you're looking for. This is the best that we can offer you right now, but don't forget that we have tons of growth. This is what it looks like. You have equity. This is what it could look like upon exit. And you can have, in terms of responsibility and scope, this is what you can expect moving forward in our organization. Really painting that picture well so that if the candidate is willing to take a little bit of a step back for salary, he knows all the other aspects in a job that he'd be looking for is there at that company. But if they're like, hey, this is the best that we can do, and we don't care what you think, then that's going to leave a bad taste in the candidate's mouth. So the biggest thing for me is that it seems like this hiring manager is extending the offer without giving me the heads up. And that's totally fine, but they have to also understand that we help with the closing process as well. So when we know a candidate's about to extend an offer, we start the closing process with our candidate. If an offer comes unexpectedly, we can't have the candidate go through that and really prime them in the right mindset to accept a good offer. So it's a battle of like me just trying to reach out to this hiring manager, trying to get on the same page here, trying to share with her like what our flow is, and we're just really here to help. She doesn't have to do this alone. And then at the same time, just figuring out what the narrative is going to be with our candidate so we don't lose him and he doesn't get pissed off or angry. So this is not the turn of events that I was expecting, but we'll have to see what to do here. There's always something that can be done regardless. That's my motto. And I'm gonna still choose to be positive and optimistic about this because I still think, again, if nothing changes, we can still make it happen, but then it's all about the delivery and how the candidate feels currently and in the future for future outlook. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna shoot this hiring manager an email, see if I can jump on a phone with her. And I'm gonna also keep touch with my candidate who's gonna be speaking with a couple other members of the product team. So he's staying busy for now. He's not just stuck in limbo, which is great. So, crazy update. And then in 20 minutes, gonna be picking up a brand new, hopefully, client. Whoa. Just got off the phone call with potentially a brand new client. These guys are super cool, based out of Europe. Essentially what they're doing is they create a holding company based out of Asia, and they're just buying up super profitable direct-to-consumer brands with $20 to $40 million in revenue, plus providing value and scaling the heck out of them. And they're now looking to build a presence and need help to create their US team here in New York City. So far, we talked about 3 positions, 2 finance, 1 investment manager, 1 VP of finance, 1 more e-commerce operations marketing. They're willing to do 20%. They're willing to also pay market, and they're also willing to be fully remote. So from the beginning, it sounds and looks really good. I just hope that once and if we engage with them, that it becomes smooth. So yeah, fingers crossed, already just swamped with everything else we have to do right now, but it's been one heck of a day. Really just getting super tired, just hitting product designers, product managers all day. And I need to wake up early and do it all over again, but finish the week off strong, make it a good Friday.
Just a matter of like, okay, well, it sounds like there's going to be a bit of a crunch, at least for the first year or so. I mean, we get the demonstration.
Just the salary play, they do offer equity, as well as tons of growth here as well. And so I think all in package, you're looking at something quite competitive, but I just want to make sure you can kind of find good middle ground, have a productive discussion with him and just see where it falls. And if you have any other questions beyond that call, just let me know. Just here to help and fight for you in your corner moving forward. And just want to do whatever we can to kind of get you to a point where you're just really excited about everything. Okay, so just got off the phone with an engineer who is going into final stages with a clean energy tech, and he has a call on Monday scheduled with the founder, and the founder told me earlier this week that they want to move forward to potential offer, but the candidate needs to do research on what salary he wants to look for because he's relocating all the way to New York City. The purpose of this call with him directly is I actually got an email from him earlier today saying, hey, Prasen, I think after my research, I want 185. And as soon as I read that, that's a huge red flag. First of all, I would love nothing more than to get him 185. But my biggest goal was to remind him that this is not an established company. They're an early stage company. Most companies this young and this old with their funding can't even go anywhere close to 185, let alone 150 or 160. So just the fact that like he can even have this conversation, I just need to remind him that this makes it even more of a unique opportunity, that he's not really gonna have too much of a step down in salary, even despite moving to New York City. So after chatting with him, I felt out his range, and it sounded like that he was okay between 170 to 185. So that's a really good range that we're playing with. I know from previous candidates that the company offered to, they made offers at 170, 175. So that's well within the range that the company can do. But you know, I obviously want my candidate to get the most as possible. So I recommended, hey, ask for 175 or ask for maybe 180. But if you're gonna go that high, just add a caveat that you could be a little bit flexible for other offers. And so I think that's the game plan. And I'm happy that he's not gonna go into that conversation saying, hey, I want 185 or I want 190, because learning from what happened with my previous candidate where they rejected her because she was taking too long, I know that these guys are desperately hiring tons of people. And if my candidate takes more time or is giving them more difficulty, just seeing what happened before, they might even just hire someone else and reject him. And I don't want that to happen here because we're so close, and it's really just down to salary, not so much an extra week or two for due diligence. So I'm doing what I can to re-engage him, to emphasize the fact that he will also get tons of growth, close relationship with the founder, and tons of equity. And if he's okay with 170 to 180, maybe 175, that should be something that works for them. So now I gave him all that data. He's gonna go into that call with more information on Monday so that it's gonna be productive and hopefully increase the probability of having a positive event. So felt good about that. He was super busy today, but I was able to chat with him for 5 minutes, and now he's just gonna relax, research some more, and get ready for Monday, and let's see if we can end the month with another deal. Happy Friday, and the workday is slowly ending, but just wanted to come here and wrap up this week with you all. As always, as you saw, really just trying to show in the most transparent way what we go through every single week with our candidates, with our clients, what sort of obstacles and challenges that we have to overcome. And this one, like every week, is one for the books. Happy to say that we're able to end this week with a successful offer of a marketing manager for a personal finance company. The final salary came out to $90,000. Our commission percentage is 20%, and we are taking home $18,000 in commission. We were hoping to at least do 1 or 2 more this week, but the 2 pending product analysts will most likely have to wait till next week. One of them just submitted her references yesterday, so the company's gonna have to go through and hopefully extend if everything goes well next week. The product analyst that I'm worried about, who's looking for 110 and they offered 195, he had a chat with 2 people on the product team today. It seemed to have gone well, but they did not address, for some reason, the salary, which is like the main issue here, which is strange. So I responded back to the hiring manager. I haven't heard back from her. You know, at this late stage, us recruiters will represent our clients. We would fight for them on their behalf and really take the point in communication. But sometimes, depending on the hiring manager of the companies, they just prefer to talk directly with the candidate. I think that might be beneficial here. So I just reached out to my candidate and I urged him just reach out directly just to have a conversation, and no hard feelings from us. Whatever that they need to do to get the job done, we're all for it. So hopefully that would work out next week. Unfortunately, they talked a little bit about equity, but they refused to give or disclose any additional information with equity, which is a little bit strange, but something that we still see with startups. Also, you know, it's really hard to quantify equity without an exit. You know, a lot of it is based on valuation, and it's really purely speculative. But I was hoping they were able to give them at least like a rough range to be like, hey, based on the company's past performance, based on how it's performing now, what its goals are in the future, like what it can value to, but they weren't able to do that, which makes it difficult for my candidate to kind of really quantify the whole offer. So I'm still doing whatever we can to kind of get them higher on salary. If they can't, it's really my job to make sure the company comes out with the right narrative so the candidate feels heard, understood, and appreciated. So that's my focus for next week. We are also locking in 2 new clients next week, one on the aviation on demand and another one in an e-commerce kind of acquisition company, which is really, really exciting. Possibly talking to 1 to 2 new clients on top of that as well. So really, you know, with this amount of volume of new business, we are up to the wall in terms of just sourcing our butts off, reaching out, repitching, constantly trying to reach out to great new talent all the time, because the amount of open positions that we have are just getting to a point where it's insane, and we really want to do the best that we can for every company that we work with. This week overall, we're just really, really happy with the interviews that are taking place, the pipelines that we're building across program managers, program directors, HR, brand new influencer marketing position, as well as our product manager, product design, expecting the volume and pipeline and interview process to continue into next week, finishing off October, and that's almost a little over 60 days away for the rest of the year. So if you've made it this far, 2020 was a curveball for us. This year also has just been absolutely insane with what's going on with the rest of the world and the pandemic. And I honestly hope that all of you, first off, are just safe watching this. But you know, if you're a recruiter, you're running your own business, I really hope that you're crushing it this year. I had no idea what to expect, whatever happened. In 2021, I personally would have just been happy making like 5 or 10 offers, but you know, the fact that I'm breaking personal records, it's just something that I am super grateful for it. It's really my job not to take any day for granted and be humble and show up and do your best every day. That's all I can do, and the results speak for itself just from the amount of work that we're pushing through. But I honestly hope that you enjoy watching these videos. You know, it's really my hope to show you what recruiters do just every day working for themselves. And whether you have a small team or you're an independent recruiter, most of the time your day will look something similar to mine, especially if you're handling high volume, always talking to tons of clients, always talking to candidates. On top of it, you're juggling negotiations and final offers and new clients coming in. There's a lot that you have to handle every single day. So it's really important at the end of each day and on the weekend, you fully decompress so that you can stay sane and productive for the next week. But with that said, guys, don't forget, if you are interested in applying, you can click on the description box below for our real-time jobs. If you know of anyone else that might be interested, again, we have an amazing recruiting referral program. We pay up to $10,000 for the introduction to the right person. We're also always just looking for great recruiters. So whether you're looking for a part-time job, full-time job, or even someone willing to partner with us behind the scenes for splits or anything like that, always looking for great recruiters with a fantastic track record. And if you have a great history of billing high volume on your own desk, like, feel free to reach out to us. Always looking for great talent professionals to kind of link arms with. Other than that, you know, I'm still feeling great. I'll have a couple more hours of work, probably going to shoot another video, but really appreciate everyone reaching out. And again, if you have any other questions, I will try to include them in future videos. So feel free to reach out to me either on YouTube or Instagram. I'm here to help, honestly, as much as I can. If you enjoyed this video and you want to also finish October with momentum and tremendous success, please consider liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. It really means a lot to us, helps us stay focused, gives us energy to finish strong, and of course, helps with the algorithm as well. But I hope that this week was great for you all, and I hope that you are recharging, make the most of your downtime, take small breaks when you need to, so you can show up, attack, and crush your goals next week and for the rest of October. So let's do what we can. It's been a good week so far, making good progress, focused on final week and on November. Let's see what we can do before the holidays. Typically, it slows down a week before Thanksgiving, and it's going to be relatively slow from there until New Year's. So we only have about 3 more weeks of full business left of 2021. So let's make it count. But appreciate you all, and we'll see you on the next one.